If you guys at home want to know how you can draw the graffiti letter M, like these 6 letters here, stick around to the very end because I'll be showing you just that. Let's go. Everybody, I'm here today to teach you how to draw the graffiti letter M. And just to let you all you guys know, we are halfway through the alphabet series now on the letter M. It's the 13th letter. It's been a hell of a journey so far, but honestly, I'm just going to jump straight into this tutorial and show you guys how you at home can draw the graffiti letter M. First things first, we all know the standard, the M shape, and this is built off of 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to mess about with too much because I'm sure you all know this already from your days in school, drawing on sketchbooks and being told to draw bubble letters in art class. So I'm actually just going to skip this and I want to show you more of an advanced thing because I just have pure faith and trust you know that. But if you didn't know that, there you go. You just learned something new. But knowing the principles, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to start with shape number 1. And first we're going to still draw the skeleton lines. So for this, all you're going to do is think of ways to bend shape number 1. And what I mean by this is where it's straight, let's see what happens if we just bend the first line like so. So there we go, just a skeleton line in place and it's a bit bent. Now we're going to look if we play with the thicknesses and thinness of lines. So let's say you want the top to be thin and the bottom thick. You can do this vice versa. So here I'm just going to do a small line because that's going to be the thinner point. And let's just put down a bigger one for now, like so. For shape number 1, the key is I'm following the skeleton line and imagine this is a magnet now pulling the line closer as I go down. And I'm going to aim for this point. And what I mean by this is look at the distance. So as I'm putting the line in, it's getting a shorter distance between there. And then it's finally coming in and touching that. Can you see that smoothness? And the same goes for this side here. This skeleton line is a magnet, so as you draw down, it's being pulled towards this point and slowly coming inwards. And that's how you create those very dynamic shapes. Now at the very beginning, if you had a smaller line and this was longer, it would just give it way more of a dynamic flow. Obviously because it's got a lot more of a contrast of line thicknesses. But you don't want to go too thick or too thin because it looks like absolutely stupid. It'd be a massive trunk at the bottom and just end up to a thin point at top. So just bear that in mind, have a play around and experiment until you find a nice medium. Shape number 2 now, we move on to this line. So from here, the same principle still applies. Doesn't have to always though, by the way, it doesn't have to always apply. It can have a shape starting there if you really wanted to. But for this simple letter, we'll just keep it here. So shape number 2. And for this, I'm going to put a rectangle in. Almost mirroring this here. As always, if you're new to this tutorials, the first one's going to be the most simplest, by the way. And then we're going to evolve on the simplest one to create more dynamic letters. Just so you guys know. And second, let's make this rectangle, but let's bring it up higher. So it's sitting a little bit higher. You put the skeleton line in. And I'm just connecting it. Here, if you want to look a little trick, it's starting to come from here. Bang. And this point here. Up. And now, for the 4th shape, you could either have it like this. It's entirely up to you how you wanted it. But for this, I think I'm going to actually curve the line like so. And I'm also going to have it so the bottom's thick, like we did here earlier. And I want to bring it up. The same trick, like a magnet, pulling it inwards, boom. And doing the exact same on this side here. It's coming in and connecting. These 2 points here to me straight away give you a cool indication of where you can put on extra add-ons. So from up here, I might put this wing shape here. Add-ons, basically once you've got the skeleton down, add-ons are the thing you can put on top of letters just to give it more of a flair. So instead of just come to a dead end stop, I can even do the same here. Like so. Just to give that something extra. And just keep going with it and building up. And at the bottom here I might just add something so it's pulling in a little bit. Boom. And I think I'll do the same for this, giving it almost like Batman effect. Another little trick, maybe I'm going a bit too OTT on this letter, but I may as well just show you guys, is just these little add-ons where you go with a thin line and then just pick like a block here. I always like these sort of add-ons. It kind of creates a real simple letter, makes it look way more wild styled than it actually is. Like this. And maybe pick a backbone off this and the rectangle. Okay. So that is going to be probably the most simplest letter M of the tutorial today. After you've got all the skeleton lines in place as a sketch, obviously if there's a wall, you'd be sketching it, then you'd be using your fill and then the black. But for this tutorial, just to show you, I'm going to grab myself a black marker. This is a 0.6 in thickness. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter too much when you're going to thicken it out as long as it's too thick. And I'm going to line the whole thing now, just starting going over the lines I want to keep. And at the end I can rub out all the skeleton lines that I initially put in place, and I'll be left with graffiti letter M. I mean, I can talk about this all day, but I might as well just show you the process. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm saying, I'm trying to do. I'll just show you the process now, and then I'll see what you're left with at the very end. Take your rubber, rub out the skeleton lines you first had in place, and you will be left with something like that. And this, I'm telling you guys, is the most simplest letter I'm going to be showing you all today, and it is just as easy as that. The skeleton's there, a few add-ons, and it looks like just a bit more wild, has a bit more flavour on it, and yeah, it just makes your own letter stand out. And now, knowing the principles of the 4 shapes and how you can just bend and face slightly to create a letter, just repeat the pattern, but let's see what we do it in a different order. So shape 1 again, it's exactly the same. Shape 1, what we're going to do, instead of bending it this way, we're bending it all the way back. This side, okay? Just strike it out with confidence, bam, like that. Shape 1. Instead of having the thin to thick, let's have thick up top. Exactly the same. Look, line across there, sitting on there. Base, thin. With the magnet pushing the line out, as it comes up, you know what's going to happen. It's going to slowly come out and connect with that. And the exact same goes on the other side. Keep it slow. Don't want to get too thick too quick, or you end up with stuff like that, which looks absolutely horrific. Saying that though, here I'll show you a trick as it accidentally happens. If I connected this one in place, we have this line here that slowly comes off. You can use this as a thin line to have something later on that sits on top like this. So that's a complete accident. I was actually just trying to show you what not to do, and by doing so I actually learned a way I could show you guys how to do something else. And now we have, because we've put this in place, this stem that comes off the bottom of the M, we now got to make sure something comes out far enough so you can see it's an M shape. So here I'm just going to do a rectangle coming out, like we did with the other one. So that's just a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say. R.I.P. to the legend himself. So there's a little gap, a little window there is the indication to show you where the letters are broken up, just to make sure you can see it's an M. Add this little stem, bit of an organic shape at top. So it's an add-on that's happened organically here. And now at top, another add-on for the first bit is I'm just going to make sure it comes up. If I can rub this line out here, and where it comes off, I'm going to leave it so it has a leads over line, so like this, it just leads over, and then this will come out and sit on top here, blocked off by this shape here, just like so. And now we're going to put in the second shape, and here I want to aim for something that follows this line here, so I'm actually going to copy it like that, and then copy it identically, and then I'm going to thicken it up, just like so, like we did before. It's very slightly here, it's almost the same, it's a tiny bit at the bigger at the top. And now there's so much space here, what I'm going to try and do is drag a shape so it comes in, but I want to bring it back in here because you can see there's a bit of empty space here. So naturally your mind should be able to fill out that out, like so. Just getting ahead of myself there. Here I'm just going to do an add-on pointing where this way is that way. I'm going to point off another shape this side. And now with this, it's going to come along, getting slightly thicker at the bottom. Same on the other side. I'm going to add a little notch on top here, just to blend that side off. And now where I was going to come across here naturally, I'm going to bring it down a tiny bit. And now look for a connection line here to there. And this is the beauty of letters. Now that I've put this side in shape, I now want to start adjusting this side. So I see here, it's a bit too blunt edged. So I'm going to keep it how it is, but make it thinner to match this thin to thickness. So thin to thick here. And I still want to keep that in, if I'm honest. And divide that up. And yeah, I think I'll keep this M how it is actually. I kind of like the way it is. I like this side here, it's cool. Actually, I'll show you what I do. I feel like this is being too blocked out, so I'm going to show you right now my mistakes, because I also have mistakes, believe it or not. I'm going to have it come up and come behind this shape that we initially had in. And what I'm doing is, it comes up, it comes behind, then it's coming through the side. Yeah, this is way better now. And I'm just going to throw an arrow in here so everyone knows that the M's got the love it needs and deserves. Bang. Graffiti letter M. Definitely is a powerful letter, to be honest. Like, it's one of those letters that has so much going on with connectives and that, and a lot of shapes you can play around with. The thing is with me, I like it when the letter has big letters like M's or S or T, but also like to have it surrounded with a few other vowel-like letters like an E or an O, just to balance it out. And yeah, that's a lot more wilder and has a lot more expression, if you ask me, than the first one. Both are kind of cool, but that's how you can start playing with expression, and it's just based on the same principles and same rules. 1, 2, 3, 4. Break it up in your mind. Don't think of a whole letter, break it down, build upon the foundation, and then you should arrive in a place where the letters just have way more of a dynamic push-pull to it. As long as you just understand the rules and play around within the rules, you're pretty safe. And when you get comfortable, break all the rules. That's all graffiti artists do, just break all the rules, and then the letters become so abstract, no one can read it, but the artist and a few other people who actually understand what the hell is going on. As you all know with wild style. Anyway guys, that's me rambling on. Grab yourself your marker pen, over the whole lot once again. You know the score, you've seen it, don't need to tell you twice. Rub out the lines you don't want to keep, and then we'll move on to the third graffiti layer M of today. And now you just want to be rubbing out all the lines you don't want. And there we have it. That's how you create something that's just super stylized and is your own, just from the foundations. And if you're doing this at home, you don't even have to copy these. If you want to bend the lines somewhere else, just have faith, throw the first foundational line in place, shape number 1, and start building. Just start building from there. And what I mean by that is like this. You might think, oh, that's too meek, I don't want to do that. So you just go like, okay, shape 1, we know what happens with that. I'm going to do it like, literally, boom, really loose, okay, shape 1. And with this, you go, okay, thin, and then you want to go thick, like this, okay? This is such a dynamic shape right now, like, it's so big, it's actually overlapping this M here. And again, the magnet technique comes across, 1. On top, as always, we're going to draw a little square, so, a little add-on, sorry. And we'll just have it come straight across like so. And now from here, then we put shape number 2 in. So then we can just put a little rectangle in. Coming off there. And as you can see where it's got such a bend, I'm looking to sort of fill this space. And shape number 2 will be up here. We'll just put shape number 2 in place up here. And now I kind of like the idea of throwing like almost like a love heart shape here. So I think I'm just going to have it so So it comes off of the fourth shape will be like coming down and fill in this space here. And here I'm just going to add on this like shell top from the top of the M. And it's just that simple, guys. That's how you at home can draw your own letters. Super easy. Gonna add this little. And like with here where you have the line come over, you can even throw lines off the edge like this. So you continue that down. Let's say we want to keep it thin at the bottom. And then we can just have something that pretty much just looks like this. And it could square it behind. Obviously there's this block in it, but if it wasn't there, I could have it coming up here. And that'll just hug the shape around. And all lines are in place. I'm happy to go. Take your marker once again. And build up around your shape until you're left with the black outline. And right guys, here we have the third graffiti layer M, and that's how simple it is when you start playing with the foundation, the foundational 4 different shapes, and then block it all together, and then you create something just completely out of there, just like so. And that's just really the principle of how you can create these kind of letters. Now I want to show you something a bit more, maybe a bit more complicated, or a lot more going on. And to do that, I'm just going to end up pushing shapes all in one direction. And when I say that, with the 4 we already know is like this. So shape number 1, shape number 3, and then obviously I want shape number 4 to all go the same way. Obviously this shape number 2, which we've got in place, I'm just going to use to connect. But that's the basic of the shape of where I'm going with the whole letter and bending it in that direction. But using the same principle, so like here where it goes thick to thin, I'm going to do the exact same. So here with shape number 1, what I'm going to do is have it going thick to thin, just like this. Like so. So that's shape number 1, and here I just add on an extra. Shape number 2 comes in, once again, small little rectangle. And then shape number 3, I'm having coming out. And following the same lines, going small now to thick. Number 4, gonna start off thin at the bottom, climbing up until it gets thick, just like so. And here I'm looking to put like a box shape up top. Just stemming out. Just like that. And then have a little box coming off the bottom here. Bring in a line here. And then you end up with something that all is flowing up into one direction. Here I'm just going to add some rectangles off the side here. Just like this. It's a bit messy here, but I'll show you what I mean when I line it later. Coming up the top. So that's how you can all push the lines into one direction to create a shape. A lot of graffiti artists do this obviously when they start connecting other letters. So let's say you had the M here, and then you had something coming here like an O. You can bend around the shape and have another shape come across. And that's how you can build up so your whole piece actually becomes one uniform shape instead of individual letters. Once again, you're going to grab yourself your marker pen, go over the whole thing until you're happy and left with the black outline. Really cool, just different ways. That's how you can just turn the whole shape in one direction, opposed to just bending each individual shape, just to give it more of a flow. If you are connecting other letters, like I said before, you could obviously have something that connects around here, and it just all combines real nice. For the fifth one, let me show you something else. With shape number 1, we're going to end up breaking it into different parts entirely. So this time, let's have it so, let's say this is the basis of shape 1. This will be shape 1A, 1B, and 1C. So what I mean by this is here, I'm just going to do a small rectangle coming off. And this will be shape 1A. Then next will be this shape here, 1B. And now where it comes off here, I'm actually going to push it up more. And have shape 1C. So that's breaking the different sections in each part. From here now, I'm just going to keep the same rectangle coming in. So you've got shape number 1. And then here have it coming up more. Shape 2. And do the same with shape number 4 as well. As you see, 1 and 4 kind of mirror each other in some aspects. So here, I'm just going to do the same again. Do like this, and then break it like this. So this will be shape number 1. Leave this overhang bit here. Shape number 2. Like so. Which then you can throw down shape number 3. And now you might see there's a lot of space here, but this just leaves me now to put something I want to put in place. So from this point, I could almost come off this line like we did earlier and create something, maybe like an arrow coming upwards, and also an extra notch here. So that's how you breaking down the breaking down foundation. So you're breaking it down twice. We broke it down once to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then break down each one again and create something which is more sharp-edged and dynamic in ratio. I think it'll become a lot clearer once I've lined this one up in bits. But like I said, break it down. So you sort of 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 2, 3, 3A, 3B, 3C, extensions and add-ons afterwards, and then you created this kind of letter. Anyway, grab yourself your marker, you go over it, and then I'm going to show you the final graffiti letter M of today. Congratulations to everyone who's been following along. I really hope you've gotten stuff out of this, some sort of value. That's what I aim to achieve with every video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe before I start on this. And now let's waste no more time and just jump straight in. There's another technique how you can break down letters to a higher standard and start forming different shapes completely, and then you can start to find your own style and what you like the most. I'm probably the biggest fan of this letter here right now, just because I like my shapes to be choppy and indifferent to each other. If you've been following this tutorial, you know what happens right now. The final letter, this is how my mind is working, just to give you a thought process of how I go through things, is for the 5 letters we've done today, I'm looking for the bits I think really worked. So like this top anchor here, for example, combined with this shape here, and then mixed in with this. Like a cocktail, I'm taking the best bits I found to be really beneficial to my style, and then I'm just gonna create it here. For this one, I'm just gonna let the camera roll over as I do it. That way I can just give 100% concentration on what I'm doing and show you guys how you can do the same. And likewise at home, you might like different bits completely from your letters, and I encourage you to do the same as me right now, and find your own style as opposed to just copying someone else. And that's really how you can start to develop your own art style and letters in the future as well as now. 6 completely different ways how you can draw the graffiti letter M. For a letter that I'm not actually accustomed to and I don't get a lot of practice on, I might actually start rethinking my name myself, because I absolutely love the way these letters come out. Even like this one here and this one, I just think it's got a real cool shape to it. So if you guys write the letter M, let me know in the comments, let me know where it's positioned in your word and how you like to bend it. I'm really intrigued to see how you go about it. And as always, thank you to everybody. Your support on this channel, and all the videos you're seeing lately is only possible because of all of your views, your subs and your comments to keep the channel alive. And as always, I thank you to the Patreon team, because you guys are helping this channel grow behind the scenes. It's absolutely incredible. As always guys, any questions, just leave me a message. I'll try and get to as many as I can. Keep creating, you stay well, peace.